Tino Sutherland. I'm 18 years old and I'm a care leaver.
And how did you get into First Star?
I went to an award ceremony in Ealing. It was at Ealing Council. And after getting my award, Nick Turk came up to us. I think Sue Terry, who works at Horizon, recommended me to Nick. So I had a conversation with him, and I think that award ceremony was September 2017. And then I went to the St. Mary's First Star Academy. It was January 2018. And then since then I've been a member.
So that was a big gap. So while you were sort of contemplating or speaking to Nick about about First Star, had you heard of First Star before? Were you aware of the program?
Uh, um nah, with hearing about First Star, I didn't I didn't really know what to think of it. I was like, oh, I just not it was out of my comfort zone. I wasn't really trying to expose myself like that. But then yeah, he he kind of sold it to me. I really liked the idea of it. So I was like, you know what, when this session does start, I'll make one appearance.
So you came to one session and that was do or die for you.
Literally, like I remember going in there and I was like, I'm I didn't even get to K block. But I was like, I'm not gonna come back here. This is long. I had to wake up early. I'm going into a room full of kids who I don't know. And you know how kids are sometimes, they can be antisocial, or there's always a hierarchy with kids, who's popular, who's not. And I was like, "Oh, I'm not trying to do this." But when I stepped in there, it was like, it was very warm. Like everyone kind of, like no one's like segregated anyone, if that makes sense. It was a very good environment. And then from
Yes.
January, from January, I've been going ever since. I don't think I've missed a session.
No missed a session since. That's
Not a
amazing.
session at all.
From especially from being on the fence. Um,
Yeah.
what other feelings would you have at the time? Were you a bit nervous? Were you more like, okay, like I'll give these guys a chance, or were you like giving them a chance, or were you waiting for like any excuse for them to like for you to go, okay, I'm done?
Do you know what it is? I don't really get nervous. Like I think I have like a shy stage, and then after about 5 minutes, I remember who I am, and it's like, oh yeah, I can do this, man. This is easy. But I don't think it was a thing where I I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, like were you like when you went? So you said that initially you were like you went and it was like okay if like I'm gonna go or like I'm done. You gave it that one chance and you decided to stay on. But while you were staying on, while you were was it like a complete change to staying on, or were you sort of like waiting to see if anything was gonna flip you back the other way and make you go okay I'm done?
I think it was a big change. Like initially the idea was, I'm going to go to this session in January to make to make everyone happy, and so they can leave me alone, because they kept on asking me for a very long time. And I don't really like repeating myself. I don't like saying no. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? Yeah, I was like, I'll be polite and then I'll go, right? And then from there, it was like, after that day, it was like, wow, I cannot wait for February. And then February came, and then March came, and then like every session was just really cool.
That's awesome. So then, with that build up, then getting into your first residential, what was that like?
I'll probably say it was one of the best residentials of my life, pretty much, because we had, obviously in primary school you have PGL, it's like a resort, and
Mhm.
obviously that was cool, but St. Mary's was different. It was like we went through all those months like building up with each other, to then like being able to then live together. It was like really cool. And it was like we really, like we all became like very close. It wasn't like Like, we message each other on social media, we text each other, call each other. It was like we really got close. So then to be able to spend full weeks with them, it was like really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you must have been just looking forward to the next one. When's the next res? Like you must have been like, guys must have
Exactly.
been planning.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
stuff.
even we looked forward to every session so much that we would even make plans outside of that.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So obviously you went for that. You went for the residentials, managed to build a good close group of friends. So now that you're coming towards the end of sort of the program, what has been the best part about the program?
I think seeing my growth and seeing everyone else's growth as well.
You touch on a bit more about your growth,
um, I'm sure a lot of people can tell you I used to be a goody two shoes. I used to like I used to like try and get every answer right. And it was impulsive. It was like I would get it. And then it was like, oh, that's completely not the answer. And I feel like, well, obviously I'm pursuing law, so I can't just say stuff in the courtroom and then you know what I mean? So it was a thing where my growth, it was like I kind of built patience. I wait, I actually listened to the question, and then due to that, I also like developed like an analytical thinking. So it's like I can process things a lot faster, and then speak without looking like a complete fool in the room. Because I feel like that was one thing about me. Like I used to love being the joker. I used to love being the fool, but I'd also be the goody two shoes. So it was a bit of a
sort of like a
oxymoron.
clash? Yeah.
Yeah, literally. But it's like now I realize there's a time to be a joker and then there's a time to be serious. And I take, First Star very seriously. Like it's such a good thing to get into. And it's just all about helping people, really.
What would you say in your experience has been the best part of the program?
Kind of kind of finding myself like with the First Star law, we're all pretty much in the same situation. So it's not a thing where you have to make a facade or lie about who you are. Like a lot of my friends didn't know anything about me for like a good 5 years. Like they like because I was like a funny guy, or I still am, but because I'm funny, like they were convinced I had this perfect life. But there's just so much stuff behind that, if that makes sense. And I just
Yes.
yeah, and just being at First, I was like, I really don't have to be a different character.
That's interesting because I can relate to you on that side. Because when I was in school, that would have been back in 2002.
Wow,
I started year seven. Yeah, a long time ago. 2002, I started year seven, but I was sort of like the class clown, the joker,
exactly.
uh, all of that stuff. Any sort of attention was good or bad. I remember just doing horrendous things for just for jokes, pretty much.
Yeah.
But then later on in life, as you get older, you're like, oh, okay, well, I actually need to relax myself now
Tell me about it.
and
Yeah.
take something seriously. Had you noticed a change in your grades at all while being in the academy?
Yeah, for GCSE English, I was predicted a 3, I think. I don't think I ever passed a mock exam, and then I ended up with a 6, which is a B. So I feel like if I didn't spend too much time on questions, I potentially could have got a 7, could have got an A. But nonetheless, I was very happy with a B. Like, that's the highest grade I ever got, ever. And that was literally from First Start. It was like, because before we had Randa as an English teacher, and obviously Randa would teach us different skills. And like I said, when you're like in a very comfortable environment, it's very easy to retain a lot of information. Like
That's true.
in school, like I don't know, like for some reason I was always tired, so I'd pretend to be doing work, but I'd sleep a lot. It just wasn't entertaining for me. I'm not a person that can just sit in a room and learn. I need to be taught differently, and that's what Randa did. Like for each student, she tailored her lessons to everyone
Mm.
individually, and for that, it's like my grade just improved a lot.
From going through the program, you've obviously mentioned the highs. Were there any lows, or are there any parts of the program you think personally should either be changed, adjusted, or could be improved?
I don't think. it's the program that could be improved. I feel like it literally just comes down to us, like the children. I feel like most of us are obviously more mature than other children, like due to like situations.
Hmm.
So it kind of helped improve like our growth faster and maturity faster. But the only issues I'd say we had was internal, like between us. It was like, obviously a lot of friends fall out and make up, but it was like because like from early we said like, oh, we're family. So it's a thing where when you fall out family, it's like it takes a lot of pride to reach out to them. It's like,
Hmm.
and we're kids as well. It's like we don't want to admit when we're wrong. But it was like I said, because we were a lot more mature, it was easier to reach out and then make up again. Obviously, some of us still haven't reached out and fixed bonds, but at the same time, we know what's up with each other. Like it's not going to be a thing where, oh, I hate you, you're not welcome here. It's just at the end of the day, it's home. We'll never, especially me, I'd never say, oh, don't come back here. It's not your home. Like first start is literally open arms for everyone.
That's amazing. I was actually coming on to that. I actually wanted to talk to you about this topic because a lot of the meetings, and if you see anything about First Star online or anywhere, you see a lot of the adults or people that are involved with First Star that will tell you there's a sense of belonging. Um, it feels like family, but these are words from people that are like organizing the programs and things like that. You've actually lived the whole 4 year process,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you can attest to this. Would you say there's a sense of belonging, a familyhood, and kinship?
100%. It's like this is what I mean. It's literally like even if we do fall out or have debates or disagreements, it's like if anyone else is in trouble, they're there for me, I'm there for them. And it's vice versa. Like I said, we're kids, man. Like we're immature and we've had many disagreements, but it's never ever stopped us from coming together. And it goes to show because I wouldn't have been here for the 4 years. Like if it was a thing where if it was a thing where like I didn't feel wanted or belonged, or it was like I feel like an outcast, of course no one will actually ever attend again. But it's just never the case. It's really never the case.
It's really good. Um, on that as well, of because you guys are obviously so close, and that's a fantastic thing. What are the mentors like that are accompanied you on the program?
There's not enough words for them, man. the Yeah, the mentors, wow. I think it was 20. I'm trying to remember. I think Yeah, it wasn't 2020, it was 2019. That's when like OP, Chris, I think Megina as well. That's when they became senior mentors. So they got a new role. And it was like you'd think having a role that puts you up would further separate you from everyone else, but that wasn't the case. It literally brought everyone together. Like becoming a senior mentor is not something you get easily. It's a type of trust that you have to earn from Nick and the people who are higher than Nick. And for them to be able to accomplish that really made us respect them more. It was like they're really here for us, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, like you hear a lot of teachers complain about their jobs and how they don't feel valued or respected. So if you put that with the mentors, it's like we're a bunch of kids. Some of us have our own problems. And for them to still keep coming back, whether we've disrespected them or not, it's like big props to them.
Actually, on that, I do have a question for you. So, in sort of like mainstream school, obviously you have your tutor groups, your teachers, home teacher, English, maths, whatever class it is. Do you find that did you find that there's a difference between the way that the sort of first star teachers teach you in comparison to sort of that main school teachers would teach you in terms of respecting you as one as an individual and two as a learner?
Yeah, being taught in school was terrible for me. Like, school was the only thing I say I never had a problem about school was being able to communicate and make friends. Like, I had a lot of friends, so that was never an issue for me. But being taught in school is a different story. Like, it was it wasn't a good experience. With teachers in schools, it's all about a hierarchy. It's like I'm here, you're there, so you have to respect me. There's no respect. I mean, there's no respect automatically given to you. Even if you try your best to earn respect from a teacher, it's just not the case. At the end of the day, you're always going to be beneath them. So one, I never liked that. But at the end of the day, at school, I'm not going to argue with their policy. But still, a lot of the teachers were very, I'd say, lazy in a sense. It's like they wouldn't really try their hardest to get you to do what they want you to do for you to be successful. It was a thing where it was like you either do the work or not, and if you don't, you're going to be punished either way. But with First Start, like when we started the program, well, when I started the program, that first residential, we was obviously doing GCSEs. So that's like maths, English, science, like every day, obviously except weekends. And even though it was so hard to do that every day, especially during summer, I enjoyed that way more than going to school. And I learned more than I did in a year than I than being at school. Like this was when the whole rumors about academies came in, and obviously a lot of teachers are losing their jobs, so we had to have supply teachers. Nobody respects supply teachers. They
Memories.
misbehave. Exactly, they just misbehave. It's literally a zoo. It was literally a zoo in school. So, but First Start, it was everything there is just controlled. It's a controlled, safe environment. So learning there was way better than school.
That's amazing, and I love how things have never changed. Like I remember whenever we saw supply teacher, it was just like
Yeah,
gloves off, like anything to do,
chaos.
like Royal Rumble. It was
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. So yeah, no, that's amazing. So yeah, let me ask you then. If you now, if someone was watching this and they saw it, and they're sort of in the position that you was in back in 2017 when you first joined the program, what advice would you give someone in that position?
the thing is, what I like about myself is I would never tell someone to do something that I wouldn't do. I would always recommend you to do something if I've done it. And I've done this program and I love this program. Honestly, I'm very committed to it. And if I had to speak to a student who we wanted to attend at the academy, I would just tell them try and step out of your comfort zone because at the end of the day, it will make you a better person. It will change you in many ways. Like the friends I've made at First are some of my best friends, and I never would have met them if I never came out of my comfort zone. You have to try new things if you really want to enjoy life.
Which
So
is a
that's what I
very
would.
wise, very
Yeah.
wise answer.
Thank you, thank you.
So what's next for you? What's the next steps?
The next step, well, I feel like First Start has made me not so uptight. Like before, I just lived life with a chip on my shoulder. Everything had to be serious. Everything had to be perfect. The thing is, perfect literally does not exist. Perfect is different to each person, each to their own. So right now, I'm just trying to enjoy life before everything gets a lot more serious. I don't pay any bills. I don't have a mortgage. So right now, I'm just taking it easy, enjoying, relaxing, and waiting for all the new chapters to open. My next chapter is literally starting uni. So right now, I'm just cruising until I start doing assignments again.
Nice. And are you excited for university life? Have you heard what it's like? Do you have expectations?
I don't think I have any expectation. I've seen a lot about uni. Like I have some uni friends, first starters at uni. So I don't think I'm underprepared. I just really want to go. I cannot wait to just be independent, get out there and that's kind of why I wanted to go to college anyway, because I feel like going to sixth form kind of hinders you from reality. It puts you in a bubble, which is just meant to protect you from the harsh world. Going to college, it was like eye opener. It's like, wow, like if you don't put in the effort to do what you need to do, no one's going to help you. And that is literally university. No one's going to chase you, run you down, beg you. If you want to be successful and be the best, you have to put in the work yourself.
Yeah, it's 100% true. I think some people can get lost with that with the transition from going from
Yeah.
school to college. It's kind of nice at first. You're like, oh, so no teachers are on my back, no one's
Yeah, literally.
homework. And then, you fail the exam and you're like, oh, I have to repeat again or
Yeah,
something
man.
crazy. And
Yeah,
that's not the one. But yeah, I think that transition and that eye opener is crazy. But since you've got that experience and you've got that experience from being at First Star and in a university, it should be nothing new to you when you get there.
exactly.
You're going to be a
Yeah,
freshman with a whole whole academy of experience behind you.
exactly. Exactly. Like literally going to St. Mary's as a uni student is no different from going there as a first year student. It's literally like I'm going home. You know what I'm saying? Like I know where everything is. So yeah,
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, you won't be lost on campus at all.
exactly.
So yeah, that's fantastic. Um, so yeah, is there anything that we would say is your biggest challenge that you're facing right now, or do you feel like there'll be a big challenge for you in the next couple of years?
My biggest challenge right now is I'm not content. Like right now, life is just stagnant, which is why I cannot wait to get to uni. Like I don't like being in one place for too long. So I say my biggest challenge is increasing my patience. And that's something first I helped me with anyway. So yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Especially if you're going to become a lawyer as well, you can't be shouting
exactly.
out objections
Exactly,
every
exactly. Yeah. One thing, yeah, one more thing I like to say is feel like First Star has definitely made me, not made me, but helped me tap into different things. So for example, we have my friend Chance, who is a PC gamer. There's Kane, who's a gamer, Michael, and they kind of lightly encouraged me to get my own PC. And it was like sitting here is like really takes me into my own world. And I never really had that. Usually I do that through music. That was my only escape. But now this is something that can help me whenever I'm feeling low. It's such a good coping mechanism. So and then you have other talented people as well, like Tashai and Monica, who are both of them are singers. Tashai is the dancer, and it's like seeing everyone else who are so talented makes me want to like improve myself and progress even further to the point where even I started doing my own type of music. Not my own type,
Awesome.
but my own. It just made me want to develop my own talent. So yeah, man, First Art is something I'd recommend to anyone who would want to start the program. It's just such an eye opener.